But first, right now, here on the WHAS11 team, we are following breaking news out of the city of Baltimore, where sadly police moments ago have confirmed that they have, quote, multiple victims who have been shot on the campus of Morgan State University. That is about 15 minutes north of downtown Baltimore. This has all been developing within the last hour. The department posted the news at 10:40 tonight about the multiple victims on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm also following them at the moment as we speak, and there are no new updates as we've come on the air. Morgan State is the largest of Maryland's historically black colleges and universities, HBCU, and this weekend is their homecoming. Baltimore police first posted about the active shooter situation on the campus of Morgan State around 10 tonight, asking people to take shelter in place. The ATF is also on the scene. We're going to follow this developing story out of Baltimore throughout our newscast. Again, as we get more information, we're going to bring it to you right here on the air. We'll also post it on WHAS11.com. Again, multiple victims and an active shooter situation on the campus of Morgan State University in Baltimore. Well, right here at home, the number is just dire as well. 125, that's the number of homicides LMPD detectives have investigated this year. You always ask us who's making an extra effort to stop crime in Louisville. Tonight, one group isn't giving up. And hello, everybody. Here on the night team, I'm Doug Proffitt. It is called the Peace Watch, now expanding into 5 Louisville neighborhoods. WHAS11 night team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie have more on the people behind the recruiting effort tonight.
No More Red Dots is addressing gun violence one block at a time.
We have to try to do something that we ain't done.
They're approaching young people before intervention, before arguments turn lethal.
It's probably more important now than it's ever been because we confront it straight on. We identify who the shooters are, and we approach them about doing something different.
No More Red Dots is calling on community leaders and residents to join their Peace Watch to reduce violence in the Russell, Portland, California, Newburgh, and Shawnee neighborhoods. They want community members to join the Peace Coalition, where they will be trained how to identify issues in order to have a safer neighborhood.
So we figured if we got 5 communities working on peace, and they're doing similar things based on the fact of what is the differences in neighborhoods.
Tim Finley, CEO of Elder Serve, located in West Louisville, opened its doors to serve as a hub for the community to learn more about this program.
If we're going to really deal with this violence issue, it's going to have to be everybody at the table. And I think that this provides that opportunity.
Finley says Elder Serve understands that community violence is an issue in the city and there needs to be a strategy to reduce it.
We need a plan, and it needs to be based on data. We need people like Dr. Woods who are doing the work that can really help us to formulate that plan and then implement it so that we see a safer community.
There will be monthly meetings in each neighborhood coalition to create ideas to prevent violence.
And I think it's more rooted on what the people want to do in the communities, in the neighborhoods, then enact on what kind of activities can go forth from that.
They aren't giving up, even though they are frustrated with the continued escalation in violence here. In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS11 night team on your side.
And to learn more about getting involved with the Peace Coalition, we have a link for you on WHAS11.com. A man in Prospect of Eastern Jefferson County is facing manslaughter charges after another man was shot and killed inside his home. It happened late last night on Duroc Avenue, that's right off River Road. When officers arrived, they found 23-year-old Charles Hertzog dead from a gunshot wound. Today, police say 20-year-old James Small turned himself in, admitting to the shooting and getting rid of the gun. According to arrest documents, a witness told detectives Small was drinking and using drugs when the gun went off. All new tonight on the night team, an emotional evening in a Clark County, Indiana courtroom as a jury convicted a man of killing his wife. Police say Mac Lewis shot his wife Elizabeth with their daughter in the home. Alexis Jones and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton talked to Elizabeth's family after the verdict.
Prosecutors and loved ones were brought to Terrace Tuesday after the jury gave a verdict they've been praying for.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Mac Lewis, guilty of murder.
A major decision leaving Elizabeth Lewis's family overwhelmed with joy.
After 18 months of absolute hell, today is the first day of justice for our beautiful daughter, their mom, our 2 grandchildren, and Emery, who endured this tragedy.
Prosecutors say Mac Lewis fatally shot his wife on April 1st after she asked him for a divorce in her Sellersburg home. Clark County prosecutor Jamie Moles says Elizabeth's 11-year-old daughter Tinsley witnessed the shooting and called 911 for help. Tuesday, the jury heard both sides of what happened. Ultimately, they found Lewis guilty of murder, attempted murder, 3 counts of criminal recklessness, and additional firearm enhancement.
Mr. Lewis tried to make this trial about the fact that Lizzie had somehow caused her own death by wrestling over the gun. And I asked the jury to firmly and soundly reject that notion, and they did.
Lewis now faces more than 100 years in prison. However, defense attorney Mitch Harlan is hoping for the least amount of time.
So the goal is to make that sentence as small as possible.
Sentencing is set for November 1st. Elizabeth's family says they will be in the courtroom praying for justice once again. In Clark County, Alexis Jones, WHAS 1119 on your side.
Bearnos pizza locations across Louisville were busy today as people enjoyed some lunch or dinner, all while supporting an injured LMPD officer and a well-known traffic guard.
Wish we never had a reason to hold these fundraisers, but very proud of the Bearnos owners and employees, and most importantly the customers that'll come out today.
Bearnos is donating 20% of all orders today for Officer Brandon Haley and traffic guard Gertrude Schaffline. Haley was shot while conducting a traffic stop last month. Schaffline, as you remember, was hit by a semi while directing traffic outside a school. Both are now at home to continue their recovery. All Bearnos locations participated in this fundraiser, including Fern Creek, where former LMPD officer Jeff Eberens is a part-time owner.
We're happy to, if we're able to help, we absolutely want to do the best we can to show our support for these 2 individuals that they went to work that day, didn't know that they wouldn't be necessarily coming home right then. So any opportunity that we can to show our support for the community, we know that they have our backs, so we want to have their backs when they need it.
If you weren't able to come out tonight and would still like to help, the Metro Police Foundation has funds set up for both Haley and Schaffline. We've got a link for you to get to that on WHAS11.com. Happening today, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg making a big promise, 15,000 new units of affordable housing in our city by the year 2027. It is something that he's talked about since his mayoral campaign, and today he laid out how he plans to get it done. The mayor calls it My Louisville Home Plan. It includes changing the land development code to increase housing density, expand the Louisville Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and encourage renovation of vacant and abandoned properties.
Let's be bold. Let's do things differently. Let's think big, move fast, and work together to make the progress that we need for the people of Louisville and the city of Louisville.
The administration has posted the plan online and wants your input before publishing the final version in December. We've got a link for you to find it on WHAS11.com. All new tonight, we are hearing from Senator Mitch McConnell and Louisville's Morgan McGarvey after the seismic upheaval in Washington. More from them coming up here in just a second. But first, the ousted Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, says he won't be running again. As ABC News shows us, the House is in chaos after the history-making vote.
For the first time in American history,
the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
The House of Representatives voted to oust its Speaker.
If you have to lose for something, I will always lose for the country.
In a devastating defeat, Kevin McCarthy now dismissed from his position, a move spearheaded by Florida Republican Representative Matt Gaetz and backed by just a handful of his far-right allies. 8 Republicans and all Democrats voted against McCarthy.
He has failed to take a stand where it matters. So if he won't, I will.
Gaetz moving to vacate the speakership after McCarthy cut a last-minute bipartisan deal to keep the government open, which won the support of more Democrats than Republicans.
It was personal. It had nothing to do about spending.
Now, Representative Patrick McHenry of North Carolina will serve as Speaker pro tempore until a new Speaker election can take place.
We encourage our Republican colleagues who claim to be more traditional to break from the extremists.
Tuesday night, McCarthy saying he will not run for the speakership. And until there's another speaker, the work of the House is essentially halted, with another threat of a government shutdown looming. The White House reacting, saying in a statement, the president hopes the House can quickly elect a leader. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Now, all new right here tonight on the Night Team. We talked with Congressman Morgan McGarvey of Louisville not long after the historic vote. The Louisville Democrat tells us the dysfunction is preventing the government from doing its job.
They are not focused on governing right now. They are worried about politics and distraction. And that's why this is not enjoyable. It's not fun to see the dysfunction happening right now because it has real world impacts. We have fewer than 45 days to keep the government open and avoid another shutdown. And we are losing this week right now because of their infighting.
Looking ahead, Congressman McGarvey says he hopes the infighting comes to an end so they can elect a new speaker and get back to work. Also, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell sending us a statement tonight thanking McCarthy for his leadership. In his statement, McConnell says in part, quote, the Speaker's appetite for worthy causes steered a narrow majority to seize historic opportunities for the American people and for conservative principles.